In life, we all need to make decisions, and sometimes those choices can be extremely difficult. But when your values are strong, your path becomes clearer, even if you don't know where it's leading you.
When my mom was only 17, she had to make an impossible decision, a choice that she'd have to live with for the rest of her life.
In those days, a girl couldn't stay in school if she was pregnant because she was a bad example. Father the child could, but the mother could not. And so I was expelled from school. I remember being kicked out of the house. At that time, I felt like I deserved it. I was wrong. I shouldn't have gotten pregnant. That was my punishment. I had to bear it.
When I was really young, my parents didn't have much. It was nature that fed us and gave me my path.
What can I say about Kimi? She was always a headstrong one, stubborn. When her mind was made up, she went for it. Nothing got in her way.
Hunting for my own food gives me a connection to the ocean that teaches me about balance, respect, and how to provide for myself. Nature and family always made me feel complete. But for my mom, there was always a part of her story missing. She always told us about her past, so I knew I had another brother out there. I just didn't know that after a lifetime of waiting, the baby she had at 17 would finally find us.
Randy. Well, Randy was the find of a lifetime.
I'm Randall Kosaki. I'm the Deputy Superintendent of the Papahanaumokuakea Marine National Monument. I work for NOAA. Well, I was adopted at birth, and my adoptive parents were the most wonderful parents that anyone could possibly hope for. They were academics. My adoptive parents always said, we encourage you, if you ever want to go looking for your biological family, you have our blessing, you have our support.
And so when you got pregnant, how did your mom react to that?
Well, I wanted to keep the baby, but she said, if you keep the baby, I'm adopting him, and he's going to be your brother, not your child. And I couldn't see any baby of mine being raised the way I was raised.
Exactly.
I would sneak into the nursery just to see him.
Oh my God.
Well, sometimes the nurse would come looking for me and she says, what are you doing here?
Aww.
Like I shouldn't be there. When I found out that Randy had hired a private investigator to find me, he asked me if I wanted to meet Randy, and I said, yes, I do.
And then I get this beautiful letter in the mail. And it says, Dear Randy, my name is June Werner. I'm your biological mother. I had you when I was 17. I had no way to provide for you. I wanted what was best for you, so I gave you up for adoption. And you have a brother and 2 sisters. And Kimi is an avid diver, which doesn't do it justice.
Oh, you remember all that?
Oh, I have it memorized. It was a beautiful letter.
I felt like he needed more freedom to be himself. So I decided to give him up for adoption.
Right when we got news that you were looking for us, I Googled you. It was just all these articles on Dr. Randall Kosaki discovers this new species of fish, and right away knew that you were some top fish scientist, which I thought was amazing. And then I got really nervous because then I just thought, what if he meets me and knows that I'm this spearfisher killing fish and he doesn't like me?
Yeah, even though we grew up separately that first night when you and me and Chris got together, I almost felt like I'd known you my whole life. I almost felt like I had met a younger female version of myself. I mean, to the extent that we really are 2 sides of the same coin. I'm a conservation biologist who loves to fish. She's a world-class fisher with a world-class conservation ethic.
It flaps its wings when it swims, and so when it does, it overturns the sand.
Many of these dives will dive into 100 meters or so, and so it's a long drop. Plenty of time to think about whether this is really such a good idea to be going to 100 meters.
So maybe it's a spotted eagle ray. Very good. And in Hawaiian, they call it a hihimanu.
Roughly from about 100 feet to 500 feet lies the next frontier for coral reef research.
hopefully one day you're going to go out into the ocean and you're going to meet your sea creature yourself. So in order for that to happen, we really got to take care of the ocean and take care of the land because it's all connected, right?
The best scientists are for marine conservation, but not in an effort to shut down fishing. The best fishermen are good conservationists. They don't overfish their own fishing grounds. But I don't see the two as mutually exclusive at all. Well, I think both Kimi and I were exposed to the ocean, fishing, diving from a very early age, but we're never pushed into it. So in a sense, we both found our way down to the ocean and made a life's passion out of it. And, we like to dive, we love to dive. I think part of it is we have to dive. When you have salt water in your veins, it's just so much a part of your existence.
As I see my family getting older, I see my mom really entering a different stage of life. I guess one thing you learn about nature is that it's constantly changing. Time is fleeting and teaches me not to take either of them for granted. To watch her reunite with Randy and truly and finally heal, that will always be one of the biggest honors of my life.
Never in my life could I imagine the life I have now. Oh, I couldn't be prouder. It might take a whole lifetime to understand your journey, and you will question yourself along the way. But be brave for what you love, and trust in that path, for eventually it will lead your heart home.